I bought this thing years ago in a flea market, but never knew what it was. I just thought it looked cool. It's approximately 6 1/4 inches long by 3 1/4 inches wide. The center globe piece spins and is weighted at one end, so even if you give it a spin, it always ends up with the 10 facing up. The numbers are 10 to 130 in increments of 10. It's felted on the bottom with a wood base. Most of it is metal, but the globe does kind of squish at the sides if squeezed, almost like a thin aluminum or tin that has been embossed. Any ideas would be awesome. It's a mid-20th century thermometer. My grandfather had the same exact device. Look at the number where it aligns with the convex portion of the plane. That should be the approximate temperature in Fahrenheit. I was always told to not spin it because it would mess with its accuracy. My earliest memories of his thermometer go back to the early 60s. The style is definitely futuristic for the time period. I was researching for plantation houses in the 1700s. What is the thing hanging from the ceiling in this dining room? It's called a punka, a type of early ceiling fan. The rope at the top would be pulled by a punka walla to create the back and forth motion to fan the air during hot weather. But like most things on a plantation, these types of fans were literally powered by slavery, and more often this was done by children. I live in Mississippi and have been on multiple field trips to old plantation houses. I can only speak anecdotally here, but I've seen tons. What is this small red container? The lid has a small spoon attached to the inside. My friend told me the language is traditional Chinese. I can't tell what the red material is. It's very hard and it doesn't seem like clay, but more like stone. This belonged to my grandfather, so I think it's from the 1920s or before. Any ideas? It's a Chinese red cinnabar snuff bottle. It was filled with powdered tobacco that you snort. The Chinese used it because regular tobacco was illegal, but snuff was believed to be a remedy for multiple common illnesses. The language is traditional Chinese. It says ceramic pottery made during the reign of the Qianlong Emperor, which was from 1735 to 1796. It has been colored with the mineral cinnabar and then layered onto the surface. Cinnabar is a toxic ore. It's where mercury comes from, but it was used for thousands of years in many parts of the world. It has a bright red color that has caused people to use it as a pigment and carve it into jewelry and ornaments. What is this glass vase thing found in a thrift store in Navarre, Florida? It has a snail painted on the back and almost looks like a watering can to me. What is it? It's a pourin, a traditional glass wine pitcher originating in Catalonia. This invention allows everyone to drink from the same utensil without touching it with their lips. It has a spout that gradually tapers off to a small opening, so that the wine stored inside it will have minimal contact with the air, while being ready to be used at all times. Until the mid-20th century it was very common in homes, but the tradition is now slowly being lost. What would be shipped in this strange-shaped container? I work at a shipping company and see these every once in a while. I would assume that it would be a containment container for a cremation urn. Any idea on what could be inside? It's a dry shipper, a sperm shipping container. It's an insulated cryogenic container that contains refrigerated liquid nitrogen absorbed into a porous lining, used to ship specimens at low temperatures. We use those to deliver mouse embryos and sperm for research. What is this clock thing numbered 0 through 5 found in Prague, Czech Republic? The clock thing is located at the Viton tram stop by the boardwalk of the Vltava River. When I saw this I assumed it was how many minutes until the next tram. What is it exactly for? It's a limnograph, a device that measures and records the height of the water level. And because this limnograph was built in the early 20th century before the First World War, it is built as an Art Nouveau building. What is this figurine found buried under a tree in Alberta? Possibly made out of bone. We are planning to put it back because we're thinking that it might be a curse or something. Any help is greatly appreciated. I'm an archaeologist in Alberta. That definitely looks like Indigenous First Nations art. and is made of antler. Record where you found it and please take it to a historical society and then contact your local First Nations tribal representatives to see what should be done with it. Let me know if you need any help getting in contact with anyone about this. That's a once-in-a-lifetime find. What is this thing found in a pillowcase in a stairwell of the hotel my boyfriend works at? Nobody knows what it is and who puts it there. And it definitely doesn't belong to the hotel. No maker's mark I could find, except for these two sets of numbers. What is this thing? It's a card embosser machine for making counterfeit credit cards. Traveling carders buy the info, set up in the hotel to make the cards, smash all the stores in the town with many purchases, and move on. There is a video documentary on it from years ago on YouTube. Let the bosses of the hotel know to contact the police. This was given to me 35 years ago by a friend who collects antiques. Because I collect knives. No one knows where it's from or the purpose of the stick. There's space for 2 sticks, but only one was in it when given to me. Any ideas? It's a truce-eating set from the 18th century, under the Qianlong emperor who reigned between 1735 and 1796. The wearing of these sets became mandatory for all Manchus and Mongols. Their tradition had been cutting meat straight from the bone. It was illegal for them to have their meat pre-cut, and so, all Manchus and Mongols were required to wear these truce sets to eat their meat in a traditional way. What is this thing I found while metal detecting in Greece? It's so small, about 8 to 10 millimeters in diameter. It looks like a lion on one side and a kind of animal on the other. It looks very old, possibly 200 years old. Any ideas? It's a Greek obol, minted in Cyzicus, Mysia in the 5th century BC. It depicts a boar on one side and a lion on the other. Coins before were shaven down for their material value. That's why most old coins are so small and misshapen. This was frequently done by governments in order to inflate the amount of currency in circulation. Typically, some of the precious metal was replaced by a cheaper metal when the coin was minted. What is this iron and wood platform being used as a coffee table? The wood between the metal straps is dried out and shrunken versus being worn down. The holes in the surface at the end with the rings are more worn than the others along the edge. I'm not sure if the feet are original or if they are meant to be feet. Was it really meant as a coffee table? Or was it repurposed to a coffee table? Please tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.